I pooped. This is what the post-wedding Quilt Roadies looks like. Oh my gosh. The party's over. Yes. And today my son turned 40. Can you believe that? I can't even believe that. How fast time goes. I remember when he was born. I was there. But this is actually the first time I've been up in the Beehive in like 6 days, I think. 6 days, yeah. Today is, what is today? Tuesday. This is Tuesday. And the wedding was on Saturday. And then Sunday, where they had the, this is an awesome thing. So they have a house out in a resort community that just outside of Sisters, and they rented a lot of other houses in close proximity. Sorry for that noise outside. It's they're mowing the lawn before it opens up and starts pouring. So they rented several other houses in the same proximity, and then all the guests stayed. It was a small wedding. There was only maybe 40-ish people, and then this is the great thing. I don't know if this has ever happened, but they got married on the green of the golf course. They waited for a break in the golfers, and luckily for us, it wasn't that great of weather for golfing, and so there weren't a lot of scheduled tee times. And so with a break in the tee times, which my new daughter-in-law's brother-in-law knew, we all went out onto the green, and my son had built excuse me, an arbor, like a trellis arbor. It was just gorgeous. That was carried out onto the golf course, and then we all went out, and the wedding was out there on the golf course. It was awesome. And it was overcast, which made for great photography. And then my absolute favorite picture was lightning and thunder happened, and there was a crack of lightning, and the photographer caught a picture of my son and his new wife looking up, you know, with like, wow. And so it was really beautiful. And I think the best part of it all was that I got to meet, because both my son and his new wife work in healthcare fields. She's an ER nurse and he's a paramedic, and they see kind of the worst of the worst. And all of their friends are nurses and paramedics, and to see their friends and what a bond that type of profession brings, that was a gift to us. I loved meeting all their friends and the tight camaraderie that exists there. And she was absolutely gorgeous, and her family is just wonderful. I mean, I couldn't ask for better in-laws for my son. She's Canadian, and so I'm sure they'll be traveling to Canada once in a while to visit family and old friends. But it was just really wonderful to meet her parents and her brother. We'd already known her sister and her nieces and nephews because they live in Oregon. So that was really fun. It was just, and we at the house we were staying at, my sister and brother-in-law stayed there, my younger son and my daughter-in-law and both my grandsons all stayed there, plus one of Peter's childhood friends, my son's childhood friends from high school, and his partner. She was there. So we just had a really fun, and the homes there are like real cabiny, 3-story cabiny feelings, and it was just wonderful, wonderful. And then the catering was done by a PACU nurse that I know, that I rounded up for the catering. She does catering, and she did a fantastic job, absolutely fantastic job. So it was, G and I are absolutely exhausted, beyond exhausted, but it's that kind of happy exhaustion, look at my hair, I'm barely awake at this point. But the next day after the wedding, then we came back home, and my youngest son, G, took our oldest grandson back to Portland because he had school on Monday, and then my younger son and his wife and the little man came here and stayed for a couple more days, which was just, you can't, as a nana, you can't get enough. You can't get enough of those little guys. So that was our packed 5 days of family fun, and absolutely, I think I might have stitched one day during a nap time on my buttermilk basin, the center block for my autumn harvest. I took that with me, and I think I remember stitching one day for that. So I'm back in the Beehive. We had to move all of G's guitars up here to the Beehive and put a baby gate to the stairwell so the little man couldn't get to them. So I just moved all the guitars back down to the music room, and now I'm here sitting in my space. It feels like, oh, I'm back home again, and I am loving it. So I did get a pile of mail, and I have to show you, I'm finally opening up some of my mail, and I have to show you a bit of it. And this Janet from Fair Lawn, New Jersey, was so sweet. She sent, I'm blown away by the kindness, and I appreciate everything. I appreciate you guys just listening to me babble on. But she found these cards when she went to an art, done by a local artist in her area, and she knows that I like to write cards, and so these cards were made. Aren't they adorable? Look at them, handmade greeting cards, and they were made by Cards by Julia, and you can email her at jmasseo, it's J-M, capital M, A-S-S-E-O, at AOL.com if you're interested in some of her homemade cards. And I have a friend in Mesa, Arizona who's a big card maker too, so I know what goes into these card making, and I so appreciate it. So I'm going to be writing some letters. I also got my next, I'm going to have to really get going on this block of the month. I got my, this is the, I think we're getting down, here's part of the Oh, this fabric is so fabulous. My Sylvia Pippin block of the month, which is the birds. And this is all the Sashiko blocks. Oh, this is, I don't know if you can really see that, but, so, yep. I'm going to be doing some prepping there. And then, let's see here. It's like, you know, when you don't pick up your mail for a week and you suddenly get your mail, it's like, oh. Oh. So this is from Marcia in Richfield, Ohio. Oh, she just wanted to send a little something for the Beehive, and she enjoys the Quilt Roadies so much. Oh, and her youngest son moved to Oregon. Oh, she's actually been to the Sisters Outdoor Quilt Show a couple times. He's taken her there. And she's been a quilter since the 70s. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, Marcia, you're gonna have to come back to Oregon another time for another quilt show. Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is absolutely the sweetest penny rug. Oh, and she put a label. Oh, and there's a label on the back. How cute is that? Now this is Beeswax Thread Conditioner. Rub thread lightly over beeswax, then remove excess wax by pulling the thread between your fingers. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's kind of got a blur to it, doesn't it? Oh my gosh. I wish this was a scratch and smell. It smells just like honey. Oh, that is so beautiful. Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh. I really love this. I really love this, Marcia. This is just adorable. And this stuff, oh my gosh, I can't. Oh, that is. Oh, look, I just noticed her little note to me has her name printed on there, Marcia's Messages. Oh, I hope you come, Marcia. I hope you come again with your son. He must still live here, right? Oh, that is so beautiful. I'm going to set that out there. Oh, how adorable. And then, surprisingly, in the craziness of these last few days, yesterday, I got a call from the Stitch and Post that there was a quilter who was visiting and wanted to meet up with me if I had a moment. And it was kind of the middle of the day, and the little man was ready to get out of the house, so my son and daughter-in-law and I and the little man walked. G hadn't come back from Portland yet. He was driving home. And so we walked over to the Stitch and Post to meet. And I actually wrote about that meeting in this week's Quilt Show blog post for Anna and G on the road. And I met Janet, who came to visit from the UK. I mean, she was a hoot. And I totally bonded with her right away because she was a retired ICU nurse that went on and became also a midwife. I mean, you know, we bonded right away. And she was doing some big time retail therapy, let me tell you, at the Stitch and Post. And, you know, it's not hard to do, let me tell you. But it was so fun meeting her. And then she also brought me something. And I love this little tissue paper. It has little butterflies all over it. Oh, wow. Wow. You want to see it? Look at that. It's actually thread art. It's done with the sewing machine and fabric. Oh, that is absolutely adorable. And what it says is, "You are the bee's knees." Made by Mosey. Oh my gosh. That, yep. She said I would love it, and I'm loving it. Oh my gosh. Well, I had went over there just, gosh, that is, I mean, look at how many cute things now I have up here. Oh, I'm just like, gonna arrange everything so I can see it. So I just went over there to meet her and talk, which we did, but not shop, you know. But you just can't. You can't go into the Stitching Post and walk out empty-handed. It's not an option. And they keep getting new things in. I mean, it's crazy. And now Val's getting ready for market. That's in the near future. And so I Jackie, if you ever go into the Stitching Post, be careful, because Jackie's always making something or doing something that you want to make her do. And so she was working on getting the employees to do pin cushions, you know, getting ready for the booth decoration at market and all of that stuff. And this was a book that I wanted. I already had been lusting after it, so I was already halfway over the hill. But once I saw how she made her pin cushions, I was like, oh my God, I have to make that. So here it is. And this is by a gal I know, an Oregon gal. Bowl Me Over, Debbie Busby. And they're all pin cushions. I mean, I want to make every single one of them. Oh, this one says, "Be brave." How wonderful. Have courage and be kind. Oh. I mean, I love every single pin cushion in here. And then she had made one of the pin cushions with this fabric. And this fabric feels like a really nice, lighter weight canvas fabric. It doesn't feel heavy or stiff like canvas. It's very soft, but oh my gosh, talk about fun. So, look at that. There's beavers and bears and moose and yeah, oh yeah. And I have no idea, but I need a yard. And I don't buy too much fabric anymore. Usually I've got so much fabric, I kind of limit myself on the fabric front. But I'm telling you, the stitching posts, when they buy fabric, it's like, oh, they know how to push all my buttons. So I know this is a short one, or rather it's not my traditional Quilt Roadies video, but I'm absolutely pooped. And G is too, and I told him, you won't have to do much editing on this because I'm just going to talk. I'm not going to show anything. It's not going to be any long editing issues with it. So hopefully we can get this up quicker. And my goal here, and I promised Janet this because here she is in the UK, and when I said I was doing that sew-along on Tannenbaum by Edita Sitar, she went out and got her stuff, so we're getting ready. I know that she won't be home for another week and a half, so I'm thinking that probably in another week and a half or so I will be cutting that fabric for the first time and starting my sew-along. Also, I have, I'm going to be demoing a t-shirt quilt because I have one of those to make in my future. And then just stitching. I have to keep stitching on my wool block. I've got all my sheeps prepped, you know, and they're waiting up there, and every time I come up here, yeah, so I have to get those stitchings done. But thank you for, if you stayed here till the end of this video. It is not the regular Quilt Roadie video, but this is one pooped Quilt Roadie. Yes. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Yeah. It's a good life. And you guys are amazing. Amazing. Just knowing that you're out there listening, you know, that you subscribed, press the like button, you know, that all is fabulous. And I leave you with this news. It snowed on the mountain last night. Yeah, the snow level is dropping fast. So for us here in the Pacific Northwest, fall has arrived. You take care. Be safe.
Thanks for watching.
And be sure to like and subscribe on Quilt Roadies.